Hey there, good people. It's your Crippled Critic, and this week I want to talk about the indie game Claire. So, Claire is a 2D survival horror game about a girl visiting her sickly mother in the hospital. After falling asleep, she wakes to find a disturbing world filled with monsters. She then must go on a journey of self discovery while also figuring out what's real and what's not. So, Claire was made by a very small indie game company called Hailstorm Games. The studio resides in Texas, and the team only consists of about 3 people. Originally, Claire came out 2 years ago on the PC, but recently it was released on the PlayStation 4, given the name Claire Extended Cut, and the PlayStation 4 version is the one I'm reviewing. So the controls in Claire are fairly simple, as you'll mostly just be exploring and solving puzzles. You'll have 3 different presets to choose from in the control options menu, and they all let you swap the important buttons like X, circle, square, and triangle, which are run, jump, and the accept and cancel buttons. You won't be doing a whole lot of running and jumping in Claire, but occasionally you will have to speed past certain enemies. L1 is inventory and R1 is the map, and you'll be checking both regularly. You're not able to change either of these buttons, but I've noticed that both of them lead to the same menu, so you'll only really need to press one of them as they serve the same function. Maybe something to consider if you have trouble pressing one of these buttons. I think the biggest problem some disabled gamers will have is pressing the flashlight button, which is the dreaded R3. You can't change this button at all unless you're using the in-game PlayStation 4 accessibility menu, but I have to say, the usefulness of the flashlight is really inconsistent. R3 also switches between the flashlight and the lighter, but for the life of me I couldn't see a difference between the two, except that the flashlight needed to be refilled with batteries. Other than the first time the game tells you to press the flashlight button, I really can't think of another time you really need to, so something to keep in mind. As far as combat in Claire, there really isn't any actual combat. As it is the new trend in horror games, you'll really just be running away from enemies and hiding from them. It only takes 2 or 3 hits from an enemy to kill you, and some of them can even break down doors. Thankfully, there are very clearly visible safe rooms available in several parts of every map. You can also save your progress in these rooms. Claire has 2 meters that you should look out for, the health meter and the panic meter. Health is self-explanatory, but the panic meter lowers when you see scary things or encounter monsters. You can replenish either one of these with certain kinds of food or caffeinated beverages like coffee or soda. There are 3 different difficulty settings in Claire: Story Mode, Hard Mode, and Nightmare Mode. I chose Story Mode because it negated the panic meter altogether, so I didn't have to worry about panicking. Some buttons may be problematic for some disabled gamers, but for me, most of the game was very easy, and I would say gamers with fine motor skill impairments should be fine. On the audio side of things, I think it goes without saying that this being a horror game, you might not be able to get the same experience if you can't hear the soundtrack. But I think with Claire, the visuals affect the atmosphere a lot more than the music. There are large, visible white subtitles in the game, and no spoken dialogue. Visually speaking, Claire is a very dark game, and there's not exactly a way to change the brightness, more so a way to change the gamma. This isn't exactly a reliable way to brighten the game for gamers with visual impairments. Also, you have to identify safe room doors by the color red. Thankfully, safe room doors also have a bright white diamond-shaped symbol on them, so I do think colorblind players still have ways to identify safe room doors. Claire was heavily influenced by the Silent Hill series, to the point that some sounds in the games are almost identical to the Silent Hill games, like the picking up item sound and trying to open door sound. This isn't necessarily a bad thing, however, as the atmosphere is still great, and the story is unique enough to keep you moving forward. I was really surprised how much actual gameplay there was with this, as it took me about 8 or 9 hours to complete. There's multiple endings and lots of side quests. Sometimes the map was a little confusing, but it just helped motivate me to explore more. I definitely recommend picking up Claire the Extended Cut. Doesn't exactly have a unique style, but it was really fun, and with survival horror you could do a lot worse. Alright, thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you later.